Okay, can I get everyone's attention? Can I get everyone's attention, please? There we go. All right. Well, good evening. Welcome to the Wigan Auditorium here at Peabody City Hall for our Student Government Day ceremony, which is always one of our city's favorites. My name is Mayor Ted Betancourt. I am mayor 364 days of the year, but today is Mayor Dante Martinello, and I'd like to turn it over to him to start off our ceremony. So, Mayor Dante.
Hello, everybody. We would like to start today's ceremony. Please rise for the national anthem and the pledge allegiance to the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we would like to turn it over to Mr. Simmons and the high school students for a musical selection.
I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said. I am, you are me. Don't you see? I am, you are me. That's what I said, I am, you are me. Don't you see, I am, you are me. It's not hard to do, it's just an illusion. It's me and you. See through the confusion. It's not hard to do, it's just an illusion. It's me and you. Don't you see, I am, it's not hard to do. It's the facts of atomic. I am you.
That was amazing. Can we have one more round of applause for our high school students? Okay, what a way to start the program tonight. As I mentioned, welcome to the Wigan Auditorium here at Peabody City Hall. This is Student Government Day, a very special day for all of us, and a day I know we all look forward to. It's a moment, I was saying earlier to our students, that local government obviously is very difficult, and a lot of the decisions we make on a day-to-day basis affect the lives of everybody who lives here in the city. We don't get into Democrat or Republican. All we are is people that work for the city in so many city departments that are represented here today, elected officials, city councilors, school committee members, and we just try the very best we can to do what's right for the city and to try to improve the city wherever we can. And the students today were able to get an up-close look at a number of the important work that our city officials do, different department heads, the school administration, and I think got a little understanding of the difficulties of the job and the importance of the work we do. I've been very fortunate to work with people who really care about our community and have dedicated and devoted their professional lives to trying to improve the city of Peabody. And today is an opportunity to share that with our students. And there are a number of people who work for the city now that were a part of Student Government Day and look back on it in fond memories. Back when I graduated high school, I was the Park and Rec Director and had a great day with Mr. Dick Walker, who was the Park and Rec Director at the time. We had a wonderful day, and I have great memories of that, being with my friends and enjoying the day. And it's those type of things that are important, and I'm so glad that we're able to continue this tradition. And this is an important tradition for many reasons, so many reasons, and I'm glad that we've been able to continue it. I was able to learn very recently that this is the 50th continuous year of Student Government Day here in the city of Peabody. So it's the 50th year of continuous operation. However, the history does go back even further, back into the 1940s. We have John Yale, who works for the city of Peabody, who was telling me that his uncle was the mayor for the day in 1947. And he was mayor with Mayor McGrath, correct? And so it dates back to that period of time, to the 1940s. But since 50 years ago, we've been able to keep it going continuously. And like I said, it's a terrific tradition. I wanted to take this moment on this 50th anniversary to recognize some people, some very special people in our community, educators, people who worked here at City Hall, that were able to keep this important tradition going and really make it something special. It was really changed and added to over the years. It's a lot different than it looked back in 1947, and it's really become something special where students pick offices, run for offices, put their name on a ballot, which is never easy, and then they get selected for different positions. And it's really, again, a tremendous program in so many ways. So I wanted to introduce a few people today, and I asked them to stand. We do have a certificate that I wanted to present to each of them, and also some flowers. First, I wanted to introduce Mr. Frank Hardy, who's a retired teacher from Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. He was a teacher of mine, and he really re-energized this program and brought so much life to it. And I wanted to ask Mr. Hardy to stand, please. So this is a citation of community recognition that I'm going to give to Mr. Hardy, and then everybody is going to get the same citation, and I'm going to introduce everybody in a moment. But the citation reads, "On behalf of the City of Peabody, thank you for your many years of contributions to Student Government Day. This annual program, which pairs Peabody Veterans Memorial High School students with municipal department heads and staff, dates back more than half a century. Each year, the event offers students a unique perspective on local government and can help shape their futures. Thanks to you and all those who have nurtured it through the years, Student Government Day continues to be a most beloved tradition." I also would like to introduce Mr. Andy Metropolis, also a longtime educator in the city of Peabody and one of our city's historians, both he and Mr. Hardy. And I wanted to ask Mr. Metropolis to stand. Another educator here that has become a friend of mine for many years, somebody who I think a lot of. I've been so fortunate to meet so many wonderful people, so many wonderful educators. Another longtime teacher in the city of Peabody, Elaine Marshall. I wanted to have her stand. I also wanted to mention, although they weren't able to join us today, Mr. Eric Buckley, Mrs. Jan Anderson, two terrific teachers as well that have been a part of the program, and I wanted to mention them. Also, we have there's been a tremendous amount of work that takes place to make this work here, and it's our people that I'm fortunate enough to work with every day in my office, Darrell Ann McCarthy and Beth Amico, as well as our city clerk, Allison Danforth, and so many other people, Chris Ryder, that have been able to keep this program going and did so much of the work today to make sure we had a successful day. Well, the people that have done that for years now have retired from the city of Peabody, but have really touched the lives of so many in our city and touched this important program in so many ways. And I wanted to introduce our retired city clerk, Natalie Mega. Natalie. And somebody who I think the world of, who I was able to work with for a number of years, and she was really the mayor for a while, for these first few years until I figured out what I was doing. And I don't know if I have figured that out yet, but somebody who I think the world of, Mary Bellavance. And another person who's worked in a variety of capacities here at City Hall, also worked for a time with the District Attorney's Office, someone who's really kept this program going, and again, also, like Mary, touched the lives of so many things here in the city of Peabody and so many people. And I wanted to invite Deb McGregor to stand up. Deb? So can you all come up here? Maybe we could take a quick picture right here, and I want to give you citations. Mayor, want to help me here? Thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Josh Vidal, in a moment, but I did want to say that today was really a special day, and I wanted to tell the parents that are here today or that will be watching that this class really did an outstanding job. There's been some wonderful classes we've had over the years, and this class was right with the very best. Very respectful, very attentive. We're interested in the city of Peabody, and really got a nice vibe and nice atmosphere today here at City Hall. And when we spread out, I was with the City Council group, as well as some people from the Mayor's office. We went on a tour of the police station with our Police Chief, Tom Griffin, and then we went over to the Senior Center. Although we missed the dancing, the band had just finished up, so I wanted to see some of the City Councilors today dancing, but that didn't quite work out, but maybe another time. And then we went over to Treadwell's for some ice cream over with Tom Gould. So it really was a terrific morning. And I know a number of the other departments did the very same thing, going to different parts of the city. but we're able to show a little bit about what we do in our community and obviously the importance of public safety and the important work we do over at our senior center, which was wonderful. But the students really, I couldn't say enough nice things about them. It's really a special group, and they did the city of Peabody very proud, and as I knew they would. Great deal of Peabody pride today. I'd like now to turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Josh Vidala, who is a big part of this program. Dr. Vidala, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor Betancourt. My name is Josh Vidala, and I have the pleasure of serving as the school superintendent. This is a great day. This is a day that we look forward to each year, and I just want to really, thank Mr. Metropolis and Mr. Hardy and Ms. Marshall for your amazing work over the years, and to all of our city councilors and our school committee who are here, and all of the members of our City Hall staff and our city employees that give their time for a day like this. You're truly unbelievable role models for the students, and I think, as Mr. Hardy and I were talking earlier today, it's really incredible the work that they did. It's one thing to have an idea, but it's another thing to really put it to work. And the amount of work that went into this 50 years ago, and the fact that they had it year after year and build the program to have something like this is truly incredible. Peabody is a unique city. This is the only city I know that does something like this to this scale, and it's really, to me, a huge sense of pride for our community. And for me as a city resident, this is something that when I come to this and I look around, I think of all the partnerships that we have. I'm fortunate enough to be the school superintendent, and on a daily basis, I need to work with not only our teachers and our employees, but everyone in the city. Our city council is very supportive of the schools. We work with our public works department, our police and fire all the time, and every city department, works with the schools, and our kids do internships, and it's really a unique place. And I just want to take this moment to thank all of our city employees, to thank the parents for all the work that you've done. These students are incredible. Today, they went with all the different city departments. We had some people with the city councilors and the mayor's office, and of course, in the school department, we had a number of students who were with our school committee and with our central office staff. We went and visited the Brown School today. They visited with some of our students and saw some of the inner workings of it. So today I'm filled with great pride, and I hope that all of our students had a great experience. But again, I want to thank everyone who was here. It really makes a big difference, and I would be remiss if I didn't really thank the people at the high school who put in all the time and the effort. So Mr. Pedersen and Ms. Peabody did a ton of work behind the scenes, and of course, our principal, Ms. Randall. So I want to turn it over to her. She has a few words to say, but they've done a great job, and I think you can really see that the high school is in really great hands with Ms. Randall. And so I'd just like to turn it over to her and thank everyone once again. I hope you have a great night. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you that might not know me, my name is Brooke Randall. I'm the very, very proud principal of Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, and had a wonderful day today in my first ever student government day and being involved with it. Being an employee of Peabody Public Schools for quite some time, some years back, I had the opportunity from afar to see about this event and always knew it was special, and it was a great privilege to be directly involved with it this year. Victoria Shaw and I, we had a nice eventful day at high school today. We saw a lot. Hopefully she had a fun day with me and shadowing for the day. It was great. I'd like to thank all of the counterparts that took part in this wonderful event today. Thank you so much for your wonderful work with our students. And you heard Mayor Betancourt say it and Dr. Vidala again, but this really is a special group. I've told a lot of people I'm personally sad to only have 1 year with this group before they graduate from Peabody High School, but I am lucky enough to work with them every single day, and they really are a special group. And I hope they all had a wonderful day and learned a lot. Whoa, there we go. Just speaking with some of the students at lunchtime today and during dinner time tonight, there's just a lot of excitement and positive energy. It just sounds like everybody really had some great experiences today. So I just want to say thank you again to everybody who took part today, and yeah, I'll turn it over to Ms. Peabody, who is one of our advisors for the program. Mr. Pedersen unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but I'll turn it over to our advisor, Ms. Peabody, to say a couple words. Thank you.
Hello, I'm going to keep this very brief because I'm really excited about the council meetings tonight. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The students had a great time. They're excited. They got to see and experience things they haven't done before. So I'm just going to say a huge blanket thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, and now I'm going to turn it back over to our mayor, Mayor Dante, who is going to introduce our city counterparts with our students. Mayor Dante, turn it to you.
All right. I would like to introduce tonight our Chief of Staff, Lindsay Lynch. Yeah, we can clap. Oh. Yeah. Oh, give me one else's name. Yeah. Okay, I was told I wasn't. Daryl told me I should. No, not on here.
Oh, perfect. Then just do it like you did.
Okay. All right. Our executive assistant to the mayor, Liz Sorokina. Our city clerk, Keenan Jones.
So right when they take the picture, go to the next one, as soon as they snap.
All right. I will now introduce our counselors at large, Michaela Alpern, Nathan Braz, Sammy Oliveri, Michaela Tellis, and Belle Turco. Now I'll introduce our Ward 1 Councilor, Joe Conlardizabal. Our Ward 2 Councilor, Trotman Smith. Our Ward 3 Councilor, Sarah Lynch. Our Ward 4 Councilor, James Langley. Our Ward 5 Councilor, Eunice Benlatmania. And our Ward 6 Councilor, Tony Molly. I will now introduce our school committee members, Emma Festa, Carissa Furtado, Emil Nasto, Matthew Richards, and Penny Spack. All right, and now we'll move on to our city government department. Animal Control Officer, Ryan McGrath. Our assessor, Sarah DeVasta. Our auditor, Lauren Squibb. Brooksby Farm Manager, Ryan Brunette. Our Building Inspector, Kyle Labeo. Our Water Supervisor, Jacob Richards. Director of Engineering, Anthony Curcio. Yeah, I don't think the student's here, but I could be unsure. Should I just say it? Yeah, just all right. Our City Solicitor, Jaden Pappas. All right, we'll just move on to our City Treasurer, Gina Martinello. Go get him, Gina. Community Development Director, Paul Drillen. Director of Information Technology, Miguel Oliveira. Yeah. Director of Public Services, Ella Louise. Director of Parks and Recreation, Sean Conrad. Executive Director, Council on Aging, Lydia Betancourt. Our Finance Director, Giovanni Guglielmo. Healthy Peabody Collaborative Outreach Coordinator, Taylor Betancourt. Human Resource Director, Isabel Betancourt. Library Director, Ariana Servito. Public Health Nurse, Mairead Walsh. Superintendent of Parks and Forestry, Angel Nunes. Our Veteran Services Director, Andrea Sainz. I will start with our school department now. Superintendent of Schools, Dylan Bresnahan. Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Jessica Duda. Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Vincent O'Hara. Assistant to Superintendent Human Resources, Victoria Machado. Executive Director of Remote Learning and External Partnerships, Nariana Portes. Administrator of Special Education, Sydney Campbell. School Business Manager, Madeline Castro. High School Principal, Victoria Shaw. We will now move on to public safety. Chief of Police, Angie Duda. Chief of Detectives Logan Tracia. School Resource Officer McKenna Forney. Chief of the Fire Department Danny Barrett. The Fire Inspector Cameron Pilelli.
I'd like to call the school committee meeting to order, and please come forward if you're
I would like to call the school committee
meeting to order.
meeting to order.
Please take your seats.
Please take your seats.
All right, buddy, you're up there, man. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Good evening, everybody. I would like to bring this school committee meeting to order. We'd like to open it up for our first motion. Yeah, make sure if you'd like to speak to press the red button.
I would like to make a motion.
The chair recognizes Mrs. Furtado.
I would like to make. I would, oh my God. Okay. I would like to make a motion to address facility. Oh my God. I would like to make a motion to address facility issues and make improvements to the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School bathrooms. Improvements needed include add gender-neutral bathrooms, update and repair stalls, install vaping sensors, increase and improve cleaning, paint, construct ADA compliant stalls in each bathroom, and develop and increase ventilation. To improve bathroom entry and exit, it is also proposed that student ID cards serve as key cards for access, starting with the gender-neutral bathrooms.
Would anybody like to be heard? Mr. Nasto, we recognize you.
I would like to second that motion.
Any comments on the motion?
No, I would just like to second it.
Before we vote, are there any comments on the motion?
I do have a comment, actually. I really want to second this motion because I think the idea of adding a key card system to our school's bathrooms is like the simplest solution to an issue that should never have been an issue in the first place. I mean, every major college campus in America does it. Most high schools around the country can do it. I feel like if we implement this, the bathroom issue wouldn't even be an issue anymore. It would become like an afterthought with just this one thing. That's what I believe.
Any other comments?
Also, with these key cards, the teachers have to right now monitor these bathrooms. So with the introduction of the key cards, we'll be able to have the teachers actually working on their learning curriculum, and also students are able to freely use the bathroom when necessary.
We recognize you, Ms. Festa.
One thing that's really frustrating as a student at Peabody High, when we use the bathrooms, a problem that a lot of students face is that they'll go in the bathroom, somebody will get caught vaping, and then they have to go and basically meet with somebody to make sure that they're not the one that was vaping, which isn't fair to students that really just have to use the bathroom. So with these key cards, we're basically going to eliminate that problem of taking up class time or not going to the bathroom because you don't want to be unwrongfully caught vaping. So we'd like this to prevent that from students learning and to prevent students from holding it before going to the bathroom.
The chair recognizes Ms. Castro.
Through the chair, to Ms. Furtado, I have a question.
Ms. Furtado, would you like to speak?
Yes.
Ms. Furtado, you're recognized to speak.
I can ask one? Okay. Regarding the social interactions that occur in the restrooms, are these all individual restrooms?
Ideally, they would be. It would be basically like every single one would be gender neutral. Then you're not facing the problem of there are people in the bathroom doing bad things and you feel like unsafe to be in the bathroom. It would eliminate that so everyone has their separate stall. and you would use the key card to then open it, which would help track who was in what bathroom. And ideally, we would also have the vaping sensor, so then you would be able to know, okay, it was in this bathroom at this time, and then you can pinpoint it with wasting less class time and also wasting other people's time that didn't do anything wrong and were just using the bathroom.
The chair recognizes Ms. Spack.
I would like to agree with Ms. Furtado and Councilor Festa, because I believe that the key cards would also help the administrators, because that's their value that they use in helping and deciphering through who was vaping and who was actually in there just going to the bathroom.
The chair recognizes Ms. Castro.
Through the chair, I have another question for Ms. Furtado.
The chair recognizes Ms. Furtado.
How will you control the stealing or switching of key cards?
Well, switching the key cards, teachers are already outside of the bathroom, so they'll have to do less. They could still be there watching to make sure that the correct student has the correct key card. And we'll have to think more about that topic.
I do have another comment on this situation. I feel this may be a slightly flawed system, because the purpose of the key cards was to not have teachers out front of the bathrooms, and now you are saying they must still reside out of the bathrooms, so it seems that the key cards have no purpose.
The chair would recognize our superintendent.
A policy that we could vote on in the future would be a school rule where everybody would have to wear their school ID on a lanyard of some sort, so it can be easily identified if they are and have their key card or not. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Ms. Festa.
It's also no doubt that high school students carry their iPhone pretty regularly. If they don't have an iPhone, obviously they can use their student ID, but a lot of us can just take a picture right off of our Aspen, right off of the student ID, carry around our phone. It's pretty easy to show off our ID that way to confirm it's us.
The chair recognizes Mr. Richards.
There's also many forms of identification of the students here. So the key cards have the student's ID number, so you can manually press it in like what we do for lunch. We manually press in the digits of our student ID, or we can search up our last name. So there's many ways to identify that we're the student going into this bathroom that doesn't require a plastic key card to have on you.
The chair recognizes Ms. Castro.
Again, to follow up on my previous point, the purpose of the key cards was to not have the teachers out front, and now we are saying there are multiple forms of identification to be used, which require teachers to be outside the bathroom, so the key cards would not be able to be used in schools.
The chair recognizes Mr. Nasta.
Just to comment on that and provide a solution. What we can do to entirely fix that, to fix the switching of cards and like people can't just take a photo of it and scan it, we just keep it old school and use a swipe system. You just swipe your card, and then, you know, if someone could switch the cards, I mean, it would be a possibility, but if they keep it a lanyard on them at all times, always visible, and they just swipe it, like, you can't fake that. That's what that person has to do.
The chair recognizes Ms. Spack.
Through the chair, I'd like to ask a question to the superintendent.
Superintendent.
Yeah.
To go back to your idea of wearing lanyards every single day to school, what would happen if a student were to forget their lanyard that day at school and would you end up sending them home to go get their lanyard, or what would be the protocol to make sure that every student's wearing it every day?
They could go to their respective administrative office and get a temporary key card for that day, which would also need future school committee approval.
The chair recognizes Mr. Richards.
Through the chair, I'd like to speak to Maddie Castro. We do not need teachers outside the bathroom. There's a keypad that a student can press numbers on to get into the bathroom, and then you can swipe the card, or the student can scan the card. All that can be done by a student without a teacher present. The teacher does not need to be there. They can be in their classroom working on the curriculum for the next class.
The chair recognizes Ms. Castro.
To recognize the previous issue, what stops someone from taking someone's ID number, punching it in, swiping their card that they stole, using the bathroom as said identified person, and then what happens in another circumstance where, say they were vaping in the bathroom, now we have on record that the person whose card was swiped was in the bathroom vaping. Now, would this mean that security cameras would be installed outside of the bathrooms? It could be a solution, but that costs us more money than a key card. But again, the key card has many flaws.
The chair recognizes Assistant Superintendent Mr. O'Hara.
I'd like to think the thought of a high school student holding something valuable is a little ambitious. Half the time, students can't carry around a pencil or anything else that's important. So the idea of a student not losing a key card is, I think all students will lose their key cards, and then it'll become useless.
The chair recognizes Ms. Furtado.
I think if you need to use the key card to go to the bathroom, you should remember your key card. You can put it in the back of your phone. You can put it in your pocket, put it in your backpack. It'll help us learn responsibility, because as high school students, we should be learning that. In college, you're gonna need your key card to get in your building to sleep. So hopefully we can start building that at the high school level to learn, oh, to use the bathroom, I need a key card. That way we can have it. Also, to address the switching of key cards or the stealing of key cards, we can at least have a starting point, and if that person says that they didn't do it, we can try and figure it out from there of what happened. And there'll probably be classrooms around, people around. We can, at least it's a better starting point than calling in every single person that was in the bathroom within that whatever time that the sheet said.
The chair recognizes Mr. Richards.
I would like to build upon school committee member Furtado. Sorry. These key cards, if you pass them along, why are you passing it along? Because you're going to be the person who has the name being the person who went to this bathroom during this time and got vaped and was vaping. So if you're passing it along, that's on you for passing it along. Also, if you lose it, you can go right to the school administration or any administrator in that building and say, hey, look, I don't have my card. Someone could have it, but I don't have it, and I don't want anyone using it in this bathroom. So then you wouldn't get in trouble because you're already going straight to them saying, I don't have it, it's not in my possession. Similar to the credit card when you can get it paused.
The chair recognizes Mr. Nasto.
Just to comment on a previous point to address the swapping of cards. I mean, our school already has security cameras in the area. At least I believe we do. In most of the bathrooms, there is a security camera that points directly towards the area. So if people were to swipe cards, it would be caught on camera. We'd be able to see it right then and there. Okay, it happened. I mean, it's not really an issue that's going to be preventable, but it's an issue that can be easily noticed and easily stopped.
I would like to introduce the high school principal to speak upon this.
Hi. To address both Mr. Nasto and Ms. Castro's point about the security cameras, there are security cameras in the hallways. Every hallway of the school is currently properly equipped with this security system. This would, of course, help to identify any student who had entered the bathroom area using someone else's key card, as, if a teacher notices that something wrong has gone on in that bathroom. Say, the smell of an illegal substance is reeking out of that bathroom, something like that. Could happen, you know, never know. But, and we go through the security system of the key cards and look and say, oh, student XYZ had clocked into that bathroom to use it, and then we look at the security camera footage and it's a completely different student, then we can realize that it wasn't, you know, student XYZ, and it was actually student ABC who had someone else's key card. Also, to address the issue of teachers being outside the bathrooms, I believe that with the implementation of the key card system, we would no longer need as many, if any, teachers to be purposefully situated outside of the bathrooms as part of their daily school duties, which would instead give them that free period to either prep for their class or, if needed, you know, substitute for another class, as there is a shortage of substitute teachers, and, you know, people get sick, people call out. The school also does have many security officers and is looking to hire 2 more monitors for the upcoming school year to just be in the hallways, be alert, be looking out for these things, which would relieve some of those duties from our academic teachers.
Thank you, Principal Shaw. Would anybody like to speak on this? Ms. Castro.
Thank you. May Principal Shaw, please. Principal Shaw, through you, I should, Principal Shaw, if that's all right. Camera, about, correct?
That they're installing.
Okay. You was wearing hoods.
Well, cameras coming from multiple angles in the hallways, so one's there, one. I don't see many students, you know, doing like a crab walk situation where they're faced entirely towards the wall the entire time. So, you know, using the multiple cameras throughout the school, I'm sure that at some point on their way from, you know, point A class, point B of that bathroom, the students at some point be pointed towards any one of our numerous security cameras.
On the crab walk situation, I would like to point out that
certainly that is true. But, you know, if any situation where a student was walking the wall, I believe that any passerby in the hallway may notice that and take note of it. Also, we would be able to see the students' clothing and be able to go through other footage from the day and be like, all right, this student was wearing a red hoodie today. Let's see all of the students who were wearing red hoodies on this day and, you know, go through the records, see what class they were in, see what house they would have been in, what bathroom it would have been, they would have been going to, that sort of situation, I think.
We will now be taking final comments on this topic. The chair recognizes Mr. Richards.
This key card system was designed to make it safer for students in the high school. I've spoken with a number of current students at at PVMHS, and I'm so sorry, at PVMHS, and they feel it is very unsafe, and they can't go to the bathroom because they don't feel safe going to it, because there's kids loitering and there's kids just messing around on the side, and like bathroom stalls are halfway up, like tipped upside down, so they don't feel safe. They don't feel like comfortable like, to be able to go to the bathroom in the school. So with this key card system, it's an added safety measure that they can be going to the bathroom and taking care of their needs inside the school during the 6-hour school day.
The chair recognizes Mr. Nasto.
I ask that we call the question.
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to call the question, right?
Yes, we can vote.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so we have a motion.
The motion has been made. Roll call vote.
School. Ms. Festa?
Yes, I vote in favor.
Ms. Spack?
Yes, I also vote in favor.
Mr. Richards?
I vote in favor.
Mr. Nasto?
I vote in favor.
Ms. Furtado?
I vote in favor.
And Ms. Castro?
I do not vote in favor.
The motion passes 5-1.
I'll open it up for one more motion tonight. Mr. Richards.
We would like to address the motion to address and correct issues around bus transportation. These issues include, and are not limited to, buses not using the bus loop at the high school for drop-off, buses being too late or too early for pickup, and buses not making all stops.
Do I have a second on the motion?
I would like to second the motion.
All right, I would like to open it up for discussion. Any comments? Mr. Richards.
There's a lot of confusion when buses arrive way too early. For example, today we were going on to Student Government Day, and at 9 o'clock there were buses already to pick students up at 10:30. This caused a lot of confusion and a lot of walking across the streets, which can be dangerous.
The chair recognizes Ms. Castro.
I would like to ask School Committee Richards a question.
Go ahead.
What is your solution to the shortage of bus drivers?
Could I go through the chair to ask School Committee Member Castro how that deals with the bus transportation at the school?
If you don't have bus drivers, there will be no transportation.
We would like to ask the superintendent to negotiate a contract.
I'll open it up for more comments. Ms. Festa?
So one thing I would find frustrating, I'm not a bus student, but if I were to be one, I would find it frustrating if I was at the bus stop and I was on time and the bus showed up 10 minutes later, or possibly worse, I was on time and the bus showed up 10 minutes earlier. With our new attendance policy at school, we are not allowed to have more than 4 unexcused absences. And I don't think it's fair that if a child who relies on the bus to take them to school misses the bus because the bus was off timing and now cannot get to school and possibly fails the quarter in every single one of their classes.
The chair recognizes Mr. Nasto.
I think at the point where we are with like the amount of bus drivers we have, it's really hard to like implement all these things to like make sure that they stay on track when there's only so many of them. I mean, you can't ask, I don't have an exact number of how many bus drivers there are in the city, but I mean, you can't ask the small amount that we have to just, you know, pick up the pace, get everything perfect when they're working doubles probably. They're picking up like streets that they don't have to pick up because there just aren't enough.
The chair recognizes Ms. Spack.
So I would like to just make a comment on the fact that, in addition to the fact that buses are either late or early to pick up kids for school, but there's also issues with sports, and there has been in the past. For example, for the hockey team, there have been buses provided where they are either showing up late, or, for example, with the hockey team specifically, we have a lot of equipment. And in multiple occasions, we have gotten buses that were too small to carry both the team and the equipment, and we had to have parents come to drive our equipment to whichever rink we were going to, and we would have to load onto the bus because we're not allowed to go with our parents to the rink without permission from the the AD, sorry. Also, I would like to, for the bus driver situation, I would like to call up the finance director through the chair.
Yes.
Would it be possible to potentially either raise more money or put together a larger fund where we could either pay the bus drivers more so that they would be more advocated to go out for this job, or anything like that, something?
Currently in the budget, we do not have enough money to pay these bus drivers more, but we could issue bonds that could help fund this.
All right, I would like to recognize Assistant Superintendent O'Hara.
I would like to ask School Committee Matthew Richards a question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I'm hearing your concerns. I've experienced these concerns too, but I just have to ask, what is your solution to fixing them? Because people show up late, people show up early. You can't correct human error, I feel as if. So what is your solution?
So I think having a strict schedule for these buses to follow would be the best solution. If you have these buses following a schedule and they have to be at point A, point B, point C at these specific times, and no earlier, no later, like if they can, like, if there's traffic, understandable, but they should be reaching like the first destination. They should start their loop at this time and finish this loop at this time at the absolute latest. And if you're on the schedule, there's no reason you're going to be late to pick up other people because you're already following the schedule along. Of course, traffic's going to rise, and that's nothing, no one can change because it's going to exist. But having at least a schedule for students to go off of instead of saying, be here around this 15-minute interval, but it could be a 30-minute interval, is not an exceptional option.
The chair recognizes Assistant Superintendent Duda.
I would just like to circle back to Mr. Nasso's point of how these bus drivers have multiple things to do in the same day. I know firsthand experience from going on a field trip that these buses go from the high school to then the middle school and then to the elementary school. Some of them even go from our high school to the tech or go to even like Bishop Fenwick or a different school, not necessarily so close to Peabody. So it's really hard for them to make that final loop back to get back to where they need to be next. I had a field trip bus that ended up coming 30 minutes late. It was a big deal for us, but they were in the middle of dropping off elementary school kids, so they can't just drop everything and come to ours when, you know, they have other things to do, so.
We will now be taking final comments on this motion. The chair recognizes Superintendent Bresnahan.
Circling back to school committee member Matthew Richards' point, there is already a schedule for these bus drivers to follow, and they are not following it. So.
The chair recognizes Mr. Richards.
Could we please call up the school business manager to talk about this contract for the bus drivers?
Ms. Castro, you're recognized.
Yes.
So through these bus contracts, is there any way to implement a way for if bus drivers deviate from the schedule by too much over a period of time where they do this constantly? Is there any way to limit, force them not to do that?
I agree with School Committee Castro's previous point of the bus drivers cannot follow a schedule if there are no bus drivers.
I think you misheard my question. Was there a current plan for bus drivers that deviate from the schedule? Is there a plan to not have that happen?
Not until we have more bus drivers.
So you're in charge of the contracts. How are you going to get more bus drivers to sign those contracts then?
I'm only the school business manager. I deal with finances, and you are supposed to come up with a solution and give it to me.
Do we have the money to afford more bus drivers? Do
Sorry,
we
what?
have the money to afford more bus drivers?
No,
Can I ask why not?
you didn't do any fundraising.
Just a reminder, we were taking final comments. Mr. Nasta.
Question straight to the superintendent himself. Is there anything explicitly written in the bus drivers' contracts about their tardiness?
Superintendent, you are recognized.
That is a human resources issue that we can follow up on at a later date.
God bless you. Thank you.
The superintendent, or the chair recognizes Emma Festa.
I didn't have anything to say there.
The chair recognizes Ms. Spack.
I would just like to agree with Ms. Castro's point that I believe the real problem here is that we do not have enough bus drivers, and instead of searching for a solution or like attacking the bus drivers that we already have, we should be more looking towards the point of getting more bus drivers and trying to find the finance for that.
Do we have a motion on the floor for a roll call vote? Mr. Nasta?
I say what? So moved.
The chair recognizes Ms. Duda.
Ms. Festa?
I'd like to abstain.
Okay. Ms. Spack?
I vote in favor.
Mr. Richards?
In favor.
Mr. Nesto?
I vote against.
Ms. Furtado?
I vote against.
Ms. Castro?
I do not vote in favor.
The motion does not pass 3-2.
Thank you for an excellent meeting. We would now like to turn it over to the City Council.
Good evening, councilors. I would like to call this meeting in order. Does anyone motions this evening? Yes, Alpern.
I would like to motion to develop and implement a
Director, join us in the podium.
Hello? Hi.
Yes, Mr. She can ask the question now. Ms. Alpern, you can ask the question.
For you, as a community parking development, we would like to know where you think the best location to be for parking, for needing parking in Peabody, because we do not have a lot, especially in Central.
Studies show that the Mill Street parking lot shows to be a good location.
Is there any other counselors that have any other questions? Yes, Mr. Smith?
How much do you think this parking garage is going to cost?
Somewhere around $12 million.
Yes, Councilor Oliveri?
Could we potentially use the Foster Street parking lot for a potential location as well? For the second one, maybe?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Ms. Alpern?
Is there any grant funding for the $12 million?
We do not believe there is, but it is something we would certainly look into.
Yes, Mr. Ben Latmaya?
Now with these $12 million, what are the levels to this garage? How many cars will it hold, et cetera?
In order to get that answer, we need to have a feasibility study. So, yeah.
Yes, Ms. Turco?
Would it be possible to bond out for the building of the parking garage and then the revenue generated from the parking garage be used to pay back those bonds?
Yes, we would need to have people pay to have their car there in order to generate revenue.
Yes, Mr. Ben Latmaya?
If you don't know the size of the parking garage or how many cars will be held, where is the $12 million coming from?
That is just an initial cost that we'd estimate as we work with the finance team. As we work with the finance team.
Is there any other questions or comments from any other counselors? Yes, Ms. Solis?
So I would just like to add that having a parking garage in the downtown area would be extremely helpful because parking your car at the main street, for example, is a struggle for many, especially during heavy traffic hours. So a parking garage would bring a lot of benefits to everyone and would help reduce traffic during busy hours.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Molly?
I would like to ask that we bring the finance director to the stand.
Can the finance director please join us in the stand?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask the finance director, where would we be getting the funds for this project?
So we do not obviously have enough money in our budget for this operation, and you guys are talking about 2 separate parking garages, so that would be $24 million, which is a lot of money past our budget. So I think it's obvious that we should not raise taxes on everyone, on the homeowners, because that would be a burden, and it would take a long time to pay off the investment. So I'd say, again, we should issue government bonds if it's such a need, if this gets passed.
Yes, Mr. Langley?
Going off of Councillor Tellez's point, you mentioned it would improve the traffic at a rush hour time. How exactly? It's a lot of cars going into that parking garage if it were to be there, and there would be a lot of cars going in and out, and that intersection is already large and busy as it is, and I want to express my concern that this would turn into a downtown Salem type of situation, lots of traffic. I'm wondering how a parking garage being placed in that particular Foster Street lot would affect the traffic flow in that area.
Yes, Mr. Moley?
Going back to the finances of this, I'd like to ask the finance director if he believes we should utilize public or private partnerships to fund this expense.
We could pursue that, but it's something we don't normally do.
Yes, Ms. Alpern?
If we were to bond the whole thing, how much would the tax implication be? Or if we were to bond half of it, how much would the tax be?
Our team would have to crunch some numbers and see how many years we would run this investment for.
Yes, Terrell?
I have 2 points to make. First, about the finance. A lot of the money is obvious, and we need to consider. We do thinking over some of the finances that would be coming back into the city, because not only would that encourage consumers to come to Peabody, they know they can find parking down here, but it would also incentivize businesses to seek spots in our downtown in order to, establish their own businesses here, get more consumers. And to the point Mr. Langley made, he said we would have a situation like downtown Salem. I feel like we can only hope for a situation like downtown Salem where people wait to come into the city of Salem because they're so eager to come and see what we have to offer. I think we should hope to have something like that in Peabody where people are flooding into our city to see our local businesses, small businesses, and such as that.
Yes, Mr. Oliveri?
I'd like to say, what a point, Mrs. Turco. That was awesome. But as for the money going in, I mean, the money coming out would also be great. But as for the money coming in, I'd like to call the Mayor Dante to the stand to ask him a few questions.
Mr. Mayor, please join us in the podium.
Yes.
Would you be willing to bond for this proposal if we charge for parking spaces and have that revenue cover the cost of those bonds?
Yes, I'm sure we can look into this, but I think it's also important that we look into the state. The state could be willing to give us funding for this parking garage, so I would not really outlaw that and go right for bonds now. I would say we could wait on the state to give us a full opinion on that.
Yes, Mr. Moley?
I would like to ask Mr. Mayor, do you believe this is a priority of our city right now?
Well, to command Mrs. Turco's point, Peabody is a very vibrant town, and I would consider that we have a parking problem at peak times, especially Saturdays, Sundays. So we really want to we could utilize a parking garage, and it would be very effective for mitigating some of those problems. So yes, I would consider this a problem that could be resolved with a parking garage.
Yes, Ms. Lynch?
I do agree with the concept behind the parking garage, but I feel where our economy is not necessarily stable at this moment, it would not be smart to implement the parking garage. And I feel like we would not be able to get the money back at a steady enough time to pay back the loans, or however we'd be getting this $12 million. We wouldn't be getting that money back fast enough to pay for this.
Yes, Mr. Oliveri?
I'd like to call the finance officer to the stand to address that question. Director.
May the finance officer please address the stand?
It's finance director.
Responding to the point just made, do you think we'd be able to make a steady enough revenue stream to pay back those bonds?
I think with our current macroeconomic standing, we are headed towards a recession, and inflation is very high right now. I don't think the common people of Peabody would want to spend their hard-earned discretionary income on parking on top of going out to eat, per se, or having a day in downtown Peabody. I just don't think we will be making a steady revenue on this.
No other discussions? I would like to bring this to a roll call vote.
Ms. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
No.
Mr. Mole?
No.
Ms. Lynch?
No, not at this time.
Ms. Telez?
Yes.
Mr. Braz?
Yes.
Ms. Alperin?
Yes.
Mr. Benletmania?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Oliveri. Mr. Smith?
No.
Chairman Larzabal?
Yes.
This motion carries with a score of 7-4.
Now moving on to the next motion. Do any other councilors have any other motions? Yes, Mr. Benlatmia.
Now, we do have two other motions here, but I would love to skip back that and motion on instead of breaking down and going into ward and 4th of July festivals, into a citywide 4th of July festival. Thank you very much.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Yes, Mr. Langley.
Many of these city residents, or I would like to ask a question through the chair to Councilor Oliveri.
All right.
Many Peabody residents feel as though the 4th of July festival is a very small community thing, and having it, the 4th of July festival, in individual wards, they feel is, you know, it keeps it tight-knit, it keeps it in the community. Making it a citywide thing, you got to drive down into central Peabody or wherever this festival would be held, but having it in a ward, you have the benefit, families and people can walk to these 4th of July festivals. If you make it a citywide thing, just won't have that.
I did not, wait, can I talk? Oh.
Yes.
I did not address support or not support for this motion, but while I'm here, I might as well say that if we did do this festival in downtown Peabody for the 4th of July, obviously we've been talking is economics is a big issue right now and a money stream or a stable money stream coming in. And I feel like this would be a great opportunity to have when you have all these people, especially from probably surrounding cities, coming to downtown Peabody, spending money at these businesses while they're here, maybe getting dinner afterwards at Maki or another place down here, Stanzies, I love Stanzies. That would be a great opportunity for economic prosperity, and yeah.
Yes, Ms. Tellez?
So I know we have the ward by ward 4th of July celebrations, but I believe that's something that would include like the entire city and not just neighborhoods would build a stronger community, because festivals bring a lot of joy to everyone, and it's a wonderful way to celebrate our culture and traditions. And in addition to that, local businesses would benefit a lot from these celebrations, because people from outside our community would come and spend money, and consequently, the increased revenue generated would make Peabody better for all residents.
Yes, Mr. Bras?
I'd just like to say that, like, when we have individual awards, like, we have competitions down at the Carroll School, we're Ward 3, and, like, bringing the whole city together and doing, like, competitions, like, it would be hard to do, to get all people together, and we have the International Festival, which is already kind of like a citywide festival where we get the city together, so.
I'll take any last comments on this motion so we can get through this agenda. Yes, Ms. Turco?
I do have a couple points to make. First, I think that the ward celebrations are definitely helpful for those families that maybe can't find the transportation to get to a location, let's say it's in West Peabody, someone from South Peabody might not be able to get their family there for the day. And having that celebration in Ward 1 might be a little bit easier for them to get to. I'm not sure if, it's a ward councilor thing, so maybe it's just a matter of laziness by our Ward 5 city councilor, Ben Latmania, who doesn't want to organize this. But I would also like to point out that although we have the International Festival a little bit more centralized to the 4th of July, we do have the fireworks that take place at Peabody High School, which is open for the whole city every year. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ben Latmia.
Now, if you're coming to the topic on laziness, we currently have 6 ward councilors and 5 councilor at larges. Now, as the ward councilors are putting together these 4th of July celebrations, what are the councilor at larges doing, and why aren't they helping? Is that not laziness? Thank you very much.
Yes, Ms. Alpern.
I would like to call up the Peabody Police Department.
Please join us.
Yes, Ms. I'm sorry?
Could the chief please join us at the podium?
Will the chief of the police join us at the podium?
Good evening.
Do you think having the citywide event would require police presence?
Yes, I do.
And what do you think that would cost?
Several thousands of dollars.
Yes, Mr. Moley.
I would like to readdress the point that there are several citywide events held, as discussed prior, the International Festival, the fireworks at the high school, and the ward festivities have been largely overlooked, and Ward 6 does throw the best 4th of July celebration.
Yes, Ms. Bryn Latmia.
I would just like to readdress that if this motion does not pass, that we should still have the lazy counselor at larges, all 5 of them, helping out on the ward festivities. Thank you very much.
Thank you all counselors for your comments on this motion. We will now put this on a vote.
Ms. Turco.
Could you repeat the motion?
Yes, Mr. Ben-Latma, can you please repeat the motion?
Now, the current motion is to make a citywide 4th of July festival instead of the broken down ward 4th of July festivals. But yet again, if that does not pass, I would love to address the issue with the councilor at larges not assisting in the ward councilors' festivities. Thank you very much, John Turco. Isabella Turco.
Thank you, councilors. We've heard comments on this motion. Now we'll continue on our roll call vote.
Ms. Turco, may I have your vote?
No.
Mr. Langley?
No.
Mr. Mole?
No.
Ms. Lynch?
No.
Ms. Tellez?
I'll have to be the opposite, so yes, please.
Mr. Bras?
No.
Ms. Alperin?
No.
Mr. Ben-Latmia?
Yes.
Mr. Oliveri?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Lardizabal?
No.
This motion fails with a score of 4-7.
Thank you, councilors. Now moving on. Thank you, councilors. Now moving on. Are there any other motions for this evening? Yes, Mr. Ben-Latmia?
No, I don't really agree with this because it is a very troublesome task and bus stops do change based on the populations and kids growing. But I would like to create a motion to create and install permanent signs for all school bus stops, beginning with elementary school bus stops. Thank you very much.
Councilors, you have heard the motion. Are there any comments or discussion on this particular motion? Yes, Ms. Lynch.
Bus stops, the permanence of them, it's not permanent, and to have the signs be permanent is just very contradicting. A permanent sign and a non-permanent bus stop, it would just be a waste of money if the bus stops were to change. So I disagree with this motion.
Yes, Mr. Bras.
I second that.
Yes, Mr. Oliveri?
I third that.
Yes, Ms. Alperin.
We would like the superintendent to come up, please.
May I have the superintendent reach this, take the stand?
Hello.
I would like your opinion on this matter.
I am personally for this. In my experience, the bus stops have not changed in a very long time. From my sister, who started her high school experience in 2012, to me in 2023, our high school bus stop has not changed at all.
Yes, Mr. Smith?
This just doesn't seem like a problem in the community that we are having at this moment.
Yes, Ms. Alperin.
I would just like to say to the superintendent, but that is just one bus stop of many, so a lot of bus stops do still change.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
Oh, sorry. I can also say that the bus stop in front of my house has never moved since I've lived there.
Yes, Mr. Langley.
I would like to also add that the bus stop that me and my brother went to never moved.
Yes, Mr. Moley.
I would like to add that the bus stop on the corner of Antrim and Shannon Road has in fact changed in my personal experience.
Yes, Mr. Ben Lamia.
I'm sorry, I need the glasses for this one. I would actually like to withdraw this motion and motion to establish a Department of Transportation or city transportation matter, possibly within DPS.
In order to withdraw this motion, we will need to do a roll call vote. Thank you.
Ms. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. Mole?
Yes.
Ms. Lynch?
Yes.
Ms. Telez?
Yes.
Mr. Braz?
Yes.
Ms. Alperin?
Yes.
Mr. Ben Natia?
Hard yes.
Mr. Oliveri?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Lardizabal?
Yes.
This motion carries with 11 to 0.
Yes, now that this motion has been withdrawn, Mr. Ben Lamia, would you like to carry out your motion?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I would like to motion to establish a Department of Transportation or city transportation matter, possibly within DPS.
Now, all councilors heard the motion. Any discussion on this matter? Yes, Ms. Turco?
Through the chair to Councilor Ben Latmani, I just have a question clarifying. What would you foresee this Department of Transportation being responsible for?
Honestly, that is a great question, and personally, I don't care about this motion. I am bringing it to the floor for the people to speak on it. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Langley.
I suppose a possible jurisdiction that we could look into the Department of Transportation overseeing is the many highways and the many roads that we have in the city of Peabody. For a city this size, it feels weird that there isn't a Department of Transportation that's overlooking not only public transportation, but the quality of the roads and the highways that are within our city. Of course, that already goes to the DPS, but there's no specific office for those complaints and those issues to go to. So that would be the possible jurisdiction of the Department of Transportation.
Yes, Ms. Alperin.
I'd like the DPW to speak on this matter.
May the DPW come, please join us in stand.
Yes.
I would just like your opinion on this matter.
I think with Peabody being such a large city that we would not oppose this and think it would be a great addition to the Department of Public Services.
Yes, Mr. Ben Lamia.
2 points. 1, what would the cost be? And 2, our DPS is already severely understaffed. How would we be creating a Department of Transportation if our DPS is already understaffed? Thank you.
So we would have to accommodate a salary of around $75,000. This person would not be within our staff, however, working independently.
Yes, Mr. Oliveri.
Would it not be more beneficial to, since there is already a work shortage and it would cost a lot of workers to hire for a new department, and it'd have to go through the mayor, HR. Would it not be more beneficial to just give the workers already there a raise, so we don't have to, which you'd save money from, because you don't have to hire all these new workers, and it would justify giving them more responsibility and more specific oversight of transportation, as long as they're qualified. Because we obviously, if we're hiring people for Department of Transportation, that opens up way more jobs, and we already don't have enough people qualified for that position. And so it'd just be, and we don't want unqualified people heading the department.
So we would just have to hire one employee for this position, and many of our employees would not be qualified, so they would not be able to take on this workload.
Yes, Mr. Ben Latmia.
I would like to call up the finance director to see if we have any money to fund this. Thank you.
May the finance director please approach this, address this in?
Yes.
Do we have the funding for this Department of Transportation, or shall I say, singular city transportation manager?
For this singular Department of Transportation director, we do have available budget to provide a salary. Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Turco.
I am seeing a little bit of redundancy with this motion. We have a DPW director, we have an assistant DPW director, we have a highway foreman, the Trigian Center has transportation, we have a director of transportation for the schools. I'm not really sure where we're seeing the need for an additional person for this position.
Yes, Ms. Lynch.
I have to agree with Councilor Turco. I feel like we should be revising the DPS system that we have now instead of spending a lot of money in creating a new system. So again, I just think we should be revising what we already have.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
I also agree with Councilor Turco.
Yes, Mr. Molly.
I also agree with Councilor Turco and would like to bring the head of the DPW back up.
May the head of the DPW please address the stand.
Yes.
Is there not a more effective way to arrange your department to make it so then we would not have to hire these new positions for this new department?
We will take any final comments.
So we wouldn't use consultants in this instance. We would bring in a city employee already qualified for this, so it would save the city money.
Thank you. I would like to call the question.
Thank you, councilors. Now that any discussion has been heard, we will now take this to a roll call vote.
Ms. Turco.
No.
Mr. Langley.
No.
Mr. Mole.
No.
Ms. Lynch.
No.
Ms. Telez.
No.
Mr. Braz.
No.
Ms. Alperin.
No.
Mr. Ben Latmia.
Hard no.
Mr. Oliveri.
No.
Mr. Smith.
No.
Chairman Lardizabal.
No.
This motion fails with a vote of 0 to 11.
Move to adjourn.
Councilors, we now heard the motion to adjourn. Now we're now going to go into a roll call vote.
Ms. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
No.
Mr. Molay?
Yes, I motion to go home.
Ms. Lynch?
Yes.
Ms. Tellez?
Yes.
Mr. Bratz?
Yep.
Ms. Alperin?
Yes.
Mr. Bendatmia?
Get me out of here, please.
Mr. Oliveri?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Absolutely.
Chairman Larzabal?
Yes. Thank you, councilors, for this evening. This meeting is now adjourned.
Good job, buddy. You did awesome.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Thank you.
Hold on one moment before we break. Hold on one moment, we just have one final item before we break. I know it's been a long day, a fun day, those were terrific meetings, but I wanted to conclude and bring up somebody who has greatly impressed me not only today, but in the past that I've gotten to know him over the last few months, and I wanted to ask our Mayor, Dante Martinello, to come forward and say some concluding remarks. Mayor?
Well, before we start to leave, I hate to cause any disruption. 47 years ago, no, I'm just kidding, I just wanted to say, wow, what an awesome day. I mean, the experience of just having everybody here today, it was just fantastic. You know, me being here and, you know, Maddie Castro, you know, rashing off on everybody, wherever she is. And, you know, hearing the discussion between Eunice and everyone else was really awesome. As mayor of the city of Peabody, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to all the members of City Hall and Ms. P and Mr. Pedersen. Mr. Pedersen's not here, but for their support and guidance throughout this process. I also am thankful for my fellow students for electing me as mayor, which is an awesome role, might I say. Peabody has been doing Student Government Day for over 50 years. That is truly amazing, and I'm glad we're, you know, keeping the tradition going, because it really is an awesome program, and us seniors, you know, we're lucky, because this is one of only many communities that actually have a program like this. So I just wanted to make that regard. Some of you may know that I have started working here as an intern at City Hall the past few months, and to be able to network and meet with everybody here has been truly amazing. And just having that opportunity to set myself forward has been amazing. And I'd also like to thank Daryl Ann, Beth, Chris, and obviously the mayor, at least tomorrow, for all of their help in the mayor's office. It's been truly amazing, and I appreciate all of them. In my brief time in the mayor's office today, as mayor, I confidently say that Mayor Betancourt just may have some competition in the future. Either way, it has been an eye-opening experience. See firsthand the dedication and the hard work that goes into running our city. Once again, thank you everyone who has made this year's Student Government Day amazing. All right, so now we're gonna roll for scholarships. So there is 3 from the City Council and 4 from the school committee.
So these are going to be, this will be from the city council. Oh, you're really.
Oh, you're trying to make it hard for me. All right. This is from the City Council. With three $250 scholarships. And the first goes to Michaela Tellis. Oh, this is interesting. Gina Martinello. I didn't pick.
If you go see Allison, you bring your name out to see social, we're gonna issue a check, and then you pick the next one. Okay? Give him a stir, stir him up, stir him up.
Come on, Gina. Right here. All right. I mean, if you'd like to say it, sure.
The next scholarship winner is Trot Smith.
All right, yes, you will try, and then, and after this, if you could give Clerk Danforth your name, address, and social, we'll send you a check, okay? So, give it a stir,
It's a big moment for me.
All right, and these are 4 from city department heads, from the city department.
Miguel Oliveira, the Batman guy.
And you come see me, because I'm gonna take your information.
Yep, I gotta be here.
Maddie Castro.
How many are there?
I just need some information. Hi.
Congratulations.
What's this for? Give it a stir.
I was feeling it.
Who is this?
She's remote.
Oh, she's remote, okay.
Yeah.
She's still here? She's here. How do I say this?
Mariana Portes. Nariana Portes.
All right. I get the last one.
We're gonna let you pick the last one. Since she's not here. I'm giving him a stir. I'm stirring him up. Give him a stir.
Oh. Another one.
We say you gotta be here to win.
Uh-oh.
Ryan McGrath. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Can I? Oh, wait. Can I please get a big round of applause for our interim mayor, Dante Martinello?